Tanya already showed. Okay, now we're recording. So today, unfortunately, we don't have the live translation to Spanish because our friend Fabian couldn't make it today. But Tanya already mentioned that if my English is not understandable for you or too fast or too slow, you can try to use this closed captions feature of Zoom. Maybe Tanya, you can just quickly jump back to that page before we go into the really fun part so that everybody can try that if you want to. So if you want a little bit of support with the English, then you can try that out. It's a bit an experiment. So if you want to turn on closed captions, there's this button at the bottom, and then Zoom will try to produce text from everything that we say here live. It's not translated, but at least maybe that is helpful. At least for myself, when I watch English movies, I usually turn on closed captions, and it really helps me with understanding. So maybe Zoom can understand my English and translate it into some words that you can read. Very good. Yeah, thanks again, Tanya, for putting this together. Now let's jump into the content. So what are we going to show today, Tanya?
Yes, let me quickly walk you through our program. So we will have some exciting product updates across the different teams. So there will be updates from Melanie for our math apps. I will give you some updates for the website products. There will be a new, so I called this Mike's Tricks. So fun insights from Mike and some fun projects. Then we will have the slot with the community project where get to know one inspiring project from Belgium. And finally, at the end, there will be our usual Q&A session where you can have your questions and we will give our answers to that. Again, for questions in between, you can either just unmute yourself or raise your hand and we can talk to each other, or please use the Q&A feature in Zoom to submit a question, and then we can keep a good track of all the questions. Perfect. Then we move on. We get to our first part of our agenda. Let's hear from Melanie. What's new in the world of our math apps?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Tanya, for the introduction. So I directly share my screen because I want to demo directly in the app what we have recently released so that you can directly see it in action. And first, I would like to start with our spreadsheet. So as you might remember from previous community gatherings, we have already shown the new spreadsheet, and we are still continuing to improve the spreadsheet to also make it more usable and easy to use for students and teachers. And what I wanted to show you today is in the spreadsheet, there's now this toolbar at the top. And the cool thing is that we have this toolbar also in web and our Android apps and the iOS apps. So it's really similar for any device that your students are using or you are using. And I know I'm really proud of the first options because you can now style the spreadsheet cells. So for example, now I'm selecting just by dragging the mouse over the cells that I want to select. And I want to highlight the headings because those are my captions. So I can, for example, change the background color. I can also change the font color. I can make it bold or italic, and I can also change the horizontal alignment. So this is also nice if you prepare materials for your students, because then you can nicely organize the data. So I like this really much, but another feature that you might like more is also that you now can easily, and that's the special thing, easily on all platforms, so on web, Android, and iOS, do calculations or you can also easily create charts. So here, for example, I just set up some data. And now I also want to visualize the data with line charts. So I just select the range by click and drag. And in the toolbar, there's now a menu where you can really just click on a button and the chart is automatically created for you. And then there's also another button. As you can see, it's called calculate. So for example, if we want to calculate the mean of the student A scores, we can just select the range, then we click on calculate and we select mean from the menu. So this is all now. You don't have to use any command. You can just click on the buttons that you need, and that's also working on a native apps if you are on an iPhone or an Android device.
Very cool. So Melanie, I'm curious now, can you double click on cell B9?
B9, yes.
Okay, then I see. So I don't need to type that command, it basically does it for me.
Exactly. So if you want to change some minimal, because maybe you don't want to add the 8, you could change it here. And as you can see now, while you are editing such a command, so you could also type it, we also highlight the reference.
So would it update if you change it to P7?
Yes.
Cool.
And if you have more range included, if you have a command where you need 2 list inputs, we also have different colors so that you can easily see what you have selected, what you are calculating.
And if I want to relative copy this, is this also possible or not yet?
It is.
There's the dot at the bottom right. So I could drag that.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to look, the cursor changes to cross. And then you can also see the dashed lines. So I'm copying here. And if you
very nice. Cool.
Yeah, so this is what we have released since we have met last time, and we are still continuing to improve it. For example, adding new chart types. So box plot is also an important one. And also for calculate, currently we just have sum and mean, but we are also extending this to commands or variables that are commonly used for one variable statistics, for example, so that you can really get what you need with clicks without the need to know all the commands in GeoGebra.
Melly, there is one question in the chat. So from Armin, he's asking, how can I select the range on an iPad?
It's something like I just have to test it also in parallel, long tab, and then I will try it afterwards so that I don't block. But remember me, Armin, please. Other questions?
Not so far.
Okay. Then I also quickly wanted to show some updates for our GeoGebra Notes application. And there we have also included some new tools. So in case that you want to create some visual whiteboard for your class, you now also have more shapes. So we, for example, have the parallelogram. We also have a stadium, so with always the half circle at the end. We also have included a curve tool. So in case that you want to have manual charts or visualizations, you can include a curve. So it's actually a Bézier curve, and you have handlers, so you can really customize how you need it. And also really nice improvement for the line tool. As you can see in the middle or in the center of this segment, there's a point, and you can just drag the point so that you can create nicely connected, how's it called, connected lines.
Basically, you can make a segment into a polyline very easily.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, so new shapes, just to make your whiteboard even nicer. And the next thing I wanted to show you is, so if you are using, for example, Google Chrome, you may discover a new button that is shown here, which says you can install the GeoGebra app. So what we have built here is a so-called progressive web app, which means all our web applications that we have, like the calculator suite, graphing, notes, you can now just click the button and install the web page like an app on your device. So if you use Chrome and you would click here, you get a window to install it, and then you would really have an app icon in your dock or in your start screen. And this even works offline. So yeah, that's also quite handy because it works on different platforms. It works for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, Android, iOS. And yeah, in this way, you can also just get the web into a like a spelled app or like an installed app on your device.
So will this also work when I'm offline?
Yes, exactly. So even without network connection, you can use it. Of course, if you try to save online, it would say that you don't have network connection,
Sure.
but fully offline support.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I think you also get a desktop icon, right? When you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the benefit is also when you open it, it's still the web application, but it's packed into a separate window. So it really feels like you have an installed app without
So
without the
it doesn't
bar.
show the address bar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've been playing with this because kind of we still have these old aged installers that you can download for different platforms, but we're kind of hoping that this can go in a direction where this is no longer needed, so that installing things becomes much easier. So we have now activated this and basically telling you, playing a little bit with it. So the installers are still there, don't worry. But we kind of have the feeling that this new technology could actually replace the installers for the web apps where we have them. So for Classic, of course, we will still have installers. Don't worry about that. That's a different animal. But for the web applications, I think that's a really, really nice feature that this is possible. And I think it works on all platforms and browsers. So if I'm on Edge in Windows, I can do that also if I'm on Mac in Chrome or Safari, right?
Exactly.
So I think it's been like an old standard in the web browsers, but as always, it takes a couple of years until everybody really fully supports the standards and implements that. And it looks like now this is the case, so that we can really reliably use that. Quite cool. Anything else, Melly, that you wanted to show today?
I just wanted to give an update because we also talked about it last time. So I also wanted to give an update for the exam in Germany. So we have two different types of exam modes for Germany for the exams. And this is the scientific calculator and or MMS. Let's call it this way. I don't know.
Modular math system, what they call it. Yeah, modular math system. Good.
And the good news is we are officially approved. We have already released the scientific exam, so you can already try it out in our calculator suite. And we finally also managed to implement all the requirements that are specified for this exam. And here we also expect the release in about 2 to 3 weeks. So we are already in the final phase. And yeah, we are happy that we can release the MMS also soon. available then also in our calculator suite.
Yes. Thanks for the update, Melanie. There was a question about the web app install thingy. Do you know if this also works on a Chromebook? Lee was asking that. I'm not sure if you tested it. If not, then we just ask Lee to try it. It should, hopefully, but I'm not sure if we have tried that
I did not try it on
a Chromebook. Yeah.
No.
So Lee, if you have a Chromebook, please try it out and let us know if that's working, because this is now part of every GeoGebra app, the public one. So you just need to go to any of the web apps and then you should see it. Of course, after you have installed it, this button is no longer there. So the browser basically knows whether it has happened or not. Millie, you were looking something up or you were just taking a note?
I was just quickly checking if I can find Chromebook and PWA.
Okay. We'll just try it out. That's the best way to do it. But I made a note also. Very good. Okay, thanks, Melly. So we are now moving over to Tanya. Yeah, maybe just one note, Melly. Maybe you can have a look at the chat. Some people were playing with spreadsheet and long tapping, and there was some feedbacks that you can read up afterwards. Okay, over to you, Tanya. What's new in the site?
Yeah, so I will show you some exciting updates, especially for our GeoGebra lessons. So we did some handy updates to the teacher dashboard. So you see here a sample lesson of mine where I have some students in there. So what have we done? We tidied up basically this dashboard, so providing you with more space for students' work and not getting distracted by this big banner that was there before. So you get a better overview now. All the sharing information is now included in one space. So when you go under this button here, you will get all the information, can copy the link, adding co-teachers as well. And we also have now QR codes directly included in lessons. A long time wish from our users and what we heard at a lot of conferences and workshops. Now it's included also in the lessons. What else do we have? We have included some sorting options to keep your students' work organized. So the default sorting was always the time they entered. Now we're also providing the option to sort them by name. You see that it switched now, also here. And so you decide now in which order you want your students to appear here. And we also have changed, as you see, the anonymous functionality. So we are not only having student 1, student 2, and so on. For this list, we try to improve it, and yeah, you can get to know a lot of new animals actually, platypus and yeah, electric eel, seagull. We have them all, so explore them and have some fun with making your students anonymous. Good. So these are the updates for GeoGebra lessons, and just to make you aware of, all of these changes were actually driven by teacher feedback. So keep it coming. I love hearing from you and getting to know what else we could improve to make your life easier when using lessons. So the next thing on my list is something really exciting. I want to give you a short glimpse into the future of a product of mine, and this is a product combining GeoGebra and AI, and we are exploring how AI can support you as teachers in everyday tasks. And we did some research, conducted interviews and so on, and we found out that there are some critical aspects when it's coming to teaching. It's about saving time on correction work and report creation. It's about focusing on the individual student. It's about offering personalized feedback and follow-ups on handwritten and digital assignments. And based on this outcome, we are working hard to build a smart assistant. We call it currently the AssignMate. The AssignMate will be here to help you with that, with saving time, with focusing on the individual, with offering personalized feedback, and with giving you help on handwritten and digital assignments. And you, as teachers and educators, should be able to focus again on what's most important in the end, teaching and your students. So we are in the middle of creating this. It's very exciting, and yeah, so we are working hard on this digital assistant for grading and feedback generation on, first of all, handwritten assignments, but then also looking at the digital assignments. So focusing on homeworks, and we are looking for beta testers to try out the AssignMate in classrooms, in real classrooms, sometime in March and April 2026. So I'm inviting you, if you're excited about this as well, and you would like to be among the first to shape this future, or the future of this product, please scan the QR code or click on this link afterwards. You will get access, of course, to the presentation. And yeah, sign up for the beta testers group. We will review these then and come back to you with more information. So happy to receive your applications for being among AssignMate beta testers group.
Tanya, do you have this link also? Maybe you could also put it in the chat right now. I think that would be great. So maybe to give you a little bit of my view on this. So I have a very personal view on this because I have kids in school, and like in the case of my kids, they do have a device and they also use it in mathematics. They also use GeoGebra. However, the assignments or the homework that they have to do everything is still on paper, which is okay, right? I think in mathematics, that is also a good thing that they actually have to develop how to solve an equation and do calculations on paper and show that they can do that step by step. So I think that makes sense, right? I'm not against that. But I also see that for me as a parent and also for the teachers, it's a lot of work if you really want to look at what the students have produced. So grading homework, giving feedback on homework is a lot of work. And for me as a father, even though I can solve most of the problems of my kids, it's also very tedious. So it's really boring sometimes. So of course we have been playing with ChatGPT, try to solve that and give feedback and read the handwriting of the kids. And then we felt, well, this is working to some extent, but somehow the user experience is not really good if you just use a bare bones AI on that. And we, as the GeoGebra team, we have a lot of experience in dealing with educational mathematics and trying to build tools for teachers that actually save time. So we felt there is a need for something here in the middle that can bridge the handwritten homework with the technology and somehow connect these things. And so I'm really looking forward to the first prototypes of the AssignMate, where you can do this. Take a picture, the students take a picture of their homework, and then it really helps you to make something out of it. It's not going to work for everything, that's clear. It's not going to be perfect, but I think for a lot of the really boring stuff, in particular regarding algebra and arithmetic in middle school and lower high school, I think a lot of that stuff can be automated or partly automated so that you can generate feedback automatically and of course check it. right? So you always want to check what the system does, so you will have full control, but you don't have to do all the boring, tedious, repetitious work if you have to look at, I don't know, 25 homework sheets and basically do the same thing again and again. I understand that the tradition of how homework is done in different countries is quite different. And that's also why I really would like to invite you to help us here to join this beta tester group, because it's not just about you trying out this technology that we're building, but also it's for us to get examples, right, from the real world, and you telling us what types of assignments do you give for homework? What should we support, right? What's really important? Because like I live in Austria, so I know how it is here. I've seen some stuff from the US, but I have essentially no idea how it is in other places. And so we are a very international group here, and I think that's really interesting for us to be able to work together with you so that we can learn how is homework actually done in math, and then how can we build systems that help you focus on, as Tanya said, the exciting part, explaining mathematics, discussing about mathematics, and not spending hours of boring rating work. Yeah. So I'm really excited about this. Also for me as a parent, I think it could be a huge time saver for myself. And then hopefully also for lots of teachers out there. Good, we have the link now. Very good. Thanks, Tanya. So please sign
Good.
up if you're interested. Tanya, anything else
Thank you,
that you
Markus.
wanted to show today?
Not from my side. So I think we can move on to Mike's Quick's fun project.
Mike is
Mike,
here.
are you here? Mike is here, hopefully. Yes. So I need to.
Time for something completely different. Yeah, maybe I do the intro until Mike finds his unmute button.
I've just found it.
You found it. Very good.
It did disappear once I pressed screen share. That wasn't
I know,
a small problem.
I know that problem. So I do a quick intro for Mike. So Mike is, of course, one of the old guys next to me. We're the two Muppets essentially, and Mike loves to play with exciting new technology. He always has done that. And many years ago, he has done that already. So he will show you in a second what it is. And we have just recently been reminded of this by a European project where they have used this technology for dancing mathematics, right? Mike is going to show you now what it is. Mike.
This video is from 13 years ago, when we were playing. And back then, so it's using the Microsoft Connect from an Xbox. So to plug that in, to install the drivers, to compile a special version, get it talking to Java, and it was very difficult to get working. And then a little bit later, you may remember, we showed this at one of the gatherings in Linz. So Mathieu did quite a lot of work on making this work. So they had so you could move your hand and move the plane around. So Intel were pushing this, and they were trying to get all laptop manufacturers to put in this special thing in their laptop. So the gesture recognition would be built into every laptop. But then
now we can see you. I was just wondering, why did you turn off the camera?
Now you understand why my webcam's turned off. It wasn't actually turned off. But now all you need is a webcam, and you can do all these cool things. So I've got a couple of demos to show you. So this one is this is just a webcam and a bit of clever programming, and it can really, even if the finger's hidden, you can still kind of work out where it is. So, and the GeoGebra API is very powerful, and ChatGPT knows about it. So actually, ChatGPT made this web page for me. That was very useful. So you can really get the two hands inside GeoGebra's 3D view. You can see here we can really see that it's in 3D. It's really getting a very good.
Can you move your hand? Cool.
A very good estimate of where the points are.
That's very cool.
And it's also got, if you look here, it's could do a bit of gesture recognition, so it knows if I'm doing a thumbs up. I can point, pointing up. I don't think it doesn't do pointing down. I think it does pointing up. Things like thumbs. You can do thumbs down. So some gestures it will recognise. So you could have something like that controlling an applet, or something like that. Second demo is, so somebody's invented these. They're kind of a little bit like QR codes, but you'll notice it doesn't have rotational symmetry, and it's got a number encoded in it as well. So in fact, we could have two. I should have made two steering wheels. This is my steering wheel. I'm going to play so I can have a little driving game or something. So the cool thing about it is that you can see, even if I make it like that, it can still recognize where this thing is. And the really cool thing is it knows the orientation. So I can turn it. And you can see if I turn that inside the GeoGebra applet, I've got it set up so it's controlling a slider. So we could have that linked to some little game or some activity where we've got to rotate something inside GeoGebra or move something around. We could have two students, one with a steering wheel each. One could control the X coordinate, one could control the Y coordinate, or anything you can imagine, really. And as I said, you can, we'll publish these links for you to have a look at, and you can just ask ChatGPT to adapt it and do what you want. So you can tell it you want two of these, and it will do all that for you. Let me just pop those links in the chat. I've lost the chat. There we go. So you can try those now on your webcam, and you need to print out that little barcode thing, obviously, but that's me done. So
Thanks,
just to get in touch with your ideas. I mean, we haven't got any. We've had 13 years. We've never really thought of a good idea what to do with this, but maybe someone will finally think of something.
Yeah. So in this other project, what they did, they created some applets, right? With something similar, this kind of technology, and this reminded us now. And Mike looked into it now recently and found out, okay, now it's much easier. You don't need this complicated Xbox stuff. Just use your webcam. And we're going to play with that. Alicia will also be very interested, I'm sure, because she and her team of the content team are creating wonderful applets. And this could be an interesting input method. And what I like mostly about this is that you don't need any special hardware, because many times when we were thinking about 3D stuff, right, and special ways how to manipulate 3D things, you need some special joystick or something complicated. And this is really cool that you just need a webcam, because every laptop has a webcam built in. So yeah, if you want to play, get in touch with Mike and or Alicia, and looking forward to some cool applets then that can make use of this. So Mike, you're done. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mike. Then we're heading over to Belgium, actually, for a quick spotlight on an inspiring community project. So Chris is not an unknown. He's a longtime community member of GeoGebra, translator, teacher, trainer. He truly knows the needs of teachers, and he will show us now a little bit how he's going about providing help, tips, and tricks for the community on the one side in Belgium, but also on the other hand, worldwide. So Chris, the stage is yours.
Oh, thank you. I hope you can hear me. First, a brief introduction. In Belgium, the use of GeoGebra and the need for training exploded 4 years ago when the government financed laptops in schools. Teachers massively shifted to GeoGebra soon to realize that they were only familiar with the toolbar of Classic. And there I came with the Suite calculator interface. Teachers asked me very specific questions like, how can I create a matrix in Suite since it doesn't have a spreadsheet? I soon began to realize that a lot of features and not documented tips and tricks eluded busy teachers. Of course, we're following gatherings. Some of us are on Slack, so we're following the evolution. But of course, most of them are not. So that's why I created a book using GeoGebra. It's in Dutch, but the link itself will be shared, so you can review it, translate it afterwards in your browser. I try to share my screen now. So, the book names Using GeoGebra in Dutch is GeoGebra gebruiken. And I show some examples. I created some chapters, for example, algebraic input. There I overview the virtual keyboards and things that probably many people don't know is that symbolic one. And when I show them this magic key, you see big eyes and mouth fallen open, so you can easily create a matrix now. It's just there. It's also very interesting and not commonly known that the more button shows a list of all commands. So there's very practical issues. In functions, I show that one can play with the axis and even show radians on the x-axis. How to drag one axis is not known everywhere, and other features on the settings of the graphics. In matrices, vectors, and complex numbers, I show that it's a commonly asked question: how can I keep fractions when calculating with matrix? And the answer is just use cas. It's very easy, but people don't know, and they are worrying. You just ask, you just look, you see the book and say, oh, that's nice, now I know. Of course, in statistics, I'm following the evolution. I started with a list of all items in statistics, numbered from 1 to 7. And then I illustrate how you can do what. So probably like the issue that Melanie showed. Here I use it for the temperatures in 3 cities all over the world, and I can color these cells likewise as the graphs. Another many nice thing is this. Well, here you have very much together. You can easily create a full frequency table, and you combine it with a histogram, a box plot, and even show where is the mean in the histogram. I use it to illustrate for people who say, yeah, but in classic you have to just put on one button and you get all. But when you use the switch calculator, combining the algebra, the spreadsheet, and the graphing, you have much more possibilities. And when people show this file, they say, oh, now I'm convinced I'm going to make the shift to suite. So often I get questions from users, and then I think, oh, I have to edit in my book. And this keeps this book so alive and relevant for teachers as GeoGebra itself. So the book combines existing information, questions from teachers, and build up experience throughout the world in a practical way. Then, additionally, I created a second book on advanced authoring, in Dutch ontwerpen voor gevorderden. It's for people who want to create better applets on their own touch, and to give them just additional tricks. I have a toolkit, and for advanced teachers is obvious, but many people don't know that you can use different colors in one text that dynamically corresponds with the drawing, and it just using LaTeX and the text color. Nowadays, young teachers know about LaTeX, but they don't know that they can use it this way into GeoGebra. And you can say, well, yeah, everything you know about LaTeX, you can use in GeoGebra. Well, they get started for more. Another very practical thing is, how can I create selectively checkable checkboxes? When I get angles like the complementary angle, okay, and you get lines. But when I want to show the supplementary angle, this way I don't have to deselect the complementary. It's simple scripting, but it's very practical. And so there I use how to do it. Other things, yeah, in how can I create input fields with empty placeholders? Just by using undefined objects. I create an object, then I said set value undefined. So I create an empty checkbox. And on functions, there are many things to do on functions. Very much used in math textbooks is how to limit the domain of a function. For example, when throwing a ball or something. It's just an easy definition, but again, you have to know it. And when you draw parabolas, I want to skip the zero. So I never get a line because of a small definition. How can you dynamically show the domain of a function? You can change it also for irrational functions. And this is done by using sequences, a lot of sequences. And also for the range. Now you project them horizontally. That's common math to know, but it's nice to have them illustrated also. Yeah. Okay, that's an illustration. In other words, these are very practical things, just beyond the evidence. It's not that difficult. Once you know the tricks, they're not that difficult to reproduce. So why wouldn't you share that experience? It's just an overview. I think it gives an impression about giving assistance of normal users, give an assistant to busy teachers who don't have the time to daily discover what's in GeoGebra. And so that is for me. Maybe thank you for the time given. I don't know if there are any questions or anything. If you have ideas to add something, just do. I get them weekly.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. It's a very nice tutorial that you've put together there. I think it's a really nice example that it's important to adapt these kind of things to the local cultural needs, right? Like what I said earlier about homework. Homework is different in different places, and the curriculum is different in different countries, the types of examples. So, of course, this is great for your local community that the examples are exactly taken from their curriculum and from the topics that they have to teach. And this, of course, is then really convincing that yes, okay, now I can see that this tool is actually useful, because otherwise it's just an open-ended tool, and the examples that they might find in our official tutorials are not well suited to this. So, so that's very good that you're doing this, Chris, and I know that some of the others here are also doing similar things in their local communities to try to adapt your knowledge to the local needs. So thanks a lot for that. We should definitely stay in touch about this. So Sholia is also here, who is currently on our team trying to update our own tutorials. We have a help page, and I was just thinking, we should somehow work together. So let's discuss this afterwards, and we should also be in touch with you, Chris, and maybe if others of you also have such localized materials, then what we can do is, of course, we can try to help and share those on the right official pages of GeoGebra. But I think even more importantly, you have the local knowledge, you have the local contacts anyway. So all of you have their networks in their countries, and will be able to know how to reach the teachers in professional development and what are the best ways to actually bring the knowledge to them. Because it's one thing to create such a book like Chris did and put it somewhere on the internet, but it's another thing of going out there and actually, working with teachers, showing them that this exists and then spreading the love, so to say. So I know that many of you do that in workshops and local teacher conferences and so on. So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanya, how are we continuing?
Yeah, so I just started screen sharing again and lost you. It's always the funny part with Zoom. So just adding on this, so thanks a lot, Chris, for this nice presentation. It's really great to see which effort you put into this, and I just confirm what Markus said. So let's be in touch about it and check what we can do also for you and how we can work together on this. For all the others, so if you are interested also in more details, or you also found something, oh, that's really cool, I didn't know that this actually works, or I would just like to get in touch with Chris. So this is his email address. Please feel free to reach out to him, connect with him, and yeah, exchange ideas, knowledge, and so on. Thanks again, Chris. Good. And then we are at this questions or ideas section. So this Q&A session where you can ask questions to us and we give you our answers. I think the chat is answered so far. Couldn't see anything. There are no open questions in the Q&A panel of Zoom. So just an invite.
You can ask
all
them
of you.
now. If there's something that you want
Exactly.
to know, you can put it in the chat, or of course also raise your hand if you're brave enough. Lee, I have a question. Recently, I'm getting a lot of red screen or GeoGebra server down. Maybe it's just my Chrome. Can you maybe explain a little bit where this happened? Like on what kind of pages? Was it on the apps, or was it on applet pages?
I'm trying to access some of my own materials, and I've got it linked from somewhere else. When I've got it linked from somewhere else, and then I click on it, it's like, the server's down. And so then I try and copy the link and put it into another browser or an incognito and just try and access it. And I get the red screen that says GeoGebra's not working, or I get the GeoGebra page that's got the little bubble on it that says, oops. Fortunately, it hasn't happened while I've been in the middle of teaching, but I see it a lot when I'm prepping. Maybe I should send you an example when it happens.
Yeah, please reach out to me with an example, with some screenshots when this happens.
Yeah.
This would help a lot.
I think, I mean, we think that this is something that probably more people in America will be affected by, because we think it has something to do with some automated maintenance that is done to the servers by the Amazon Web Services, and our servers are in Ireland in Europe, and this, maintenance stuff, I think, is running during the night, and so that's your day, and so kind of I think that could be part of the problem. But for us, it's important to know like when it happens, and of course have examples, because then we can try to figure out, is there some script running that is making something slow, and then it's happening for you. So of course it's important for us that you have a reliable service, and we're taking it very seriously. So the best thing is for everyone, if like you have the situation that you get a website error message from GeoGebra, take a screenshot and just send it directly to us on Slack or email or whatever, to office@GeoGebra. Just, it's really important for us to know that. I understand that many times, you're in a hurry, you have to do something, and you're kind of, okay, just try later, and then it works again. But please, if it happens more often to you, please take the time and send it to us, because that's really important, especially the moment. Like if you can tell us the exact time when it happens, that's very good for our detective work to figure out who is the suspect here. Thanks. Okay. Students are arriving. We have to go to teach. Okay. Thank you, Lee, for joining. Have fun teaching. I didn't understand the one question here about MCQ is probably multiple choice questions. So we do have multiple choice questions in the GeoGebra lesson system, right, Tanya?
Yes, we have those. So, and also for the book creation, so you can include, of course, in all of the activities, multiple choice questions. And there you have this auto check also included. So when you create something, you can select the correct answers, but probably it's also more directed to the next comment with we cannot give a grade after completion of tasks. So yes, that's not possible, but this is also where the assignmate comes in. So with the assignmate, we also want to enable this.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. So if we don't have any other questions, then I think we are exactly on top of the hour, so very good timing. Then let me thank again everybody for joining, and everyone, of course, for doing the nice demos and showing their love for GeoGebra and all the things that are possible. We are going to do another community gathering in March or April. Now we will see about the exact dates. We will let you know. So Tanya is going to organize this and send you an email early enough so that you can arrange it, but it's probably going to be around the same time, right? We usually do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So for those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, winter is coming. For those of you who celebrate this Christmas thingy, have a good one. I think everybody celebrates New Year in some way. So as we might not see each other before that, I wish you all the best for a good ending of this year and all the best for the next one. As you can see, GeoGebra has lots of new plans, both to improve the existing systems. So Melanie is working hard to make the good old apps even better and make them modern. Make sure that the suite calculator has all the features that Classic used to have and make them improved and make the user interface nicer. We're still continuing to work on that. And there's also a lot of new things, as Tanya showed, new things on the website, and of course this exciting AssignMate project where we also want to use AI in a good way to make the life of teachers a little bit easier and really reduce the workload of teachers. And of course, the idea is also to connect it with the existing tools of GeoGebra at some point, the lesson system and the apps, but one step after the other. And I really hope, to see you in one of the lists that you will try out some of the new features. And if not, then we will definitely make sure that we inform you about what's going on, and hope to see you around one of the next community gatherings or hear from you via email or Slack. So thanks again, Tanya, for organizing this, and thanks everybody for joining, and all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
And send my greetings to all of your students. They should do whatever you say because you are the best teachers. Good. Thanks so much. Take good care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Goodbye.
thank you.
Bye.
Danke. Tschüss.